What's going on, Aces? Welcome back to the channel. I hope that all of you guys are having an amazing Wednesday. So, we finally are getting somewhere with the case that caused two people to lose their lives on the film set Rust, starring Alec Baldwin. So, today, a New Mexico jury found Hannah Gutierrez Reed guilty of involuntary manslaughter and not guilty of tampering with evidence after having deliberated today for about 2.5 hours. Gutierrez Reed, who's 26 years old, faces up to 18 months in state prison when she is sentenced later. A judge ordered that she be taken into custody and held until her sentencing. Gutierrez Reed, who showed little emotion as the jury foreperson read the verdicts, she took off a necklace before a deputy took her into custody. Her mother, seated behind her, put her hands on her head and bent forward as the judge ordered her daughter remanded into custody pending sentencing. The nearly 2-week criminal trial centered on the shooting on the Rust film set in 2021 when the actor Alec Baldwin held a pow pow that fired a live round of ammunition, killing the film's cinematographer, Helena Hutchinson. The bullet also injured director Joel Souza. During the prosecution's closing arguments on Wednesday, Special Prosecutor Carrie Morrissey told the jury that Gutierrez Reed was negligent, she was careless, and she was thoughtless. She's doing a whole lot. Like she's assassinating her character instead of what the girl actually did. She's putting 20 on 10, but most prosecutors do. Morrissey said that after the fatal shooting, Gutierrez Reed was, quote unquote, more worried about her career and less about the victims. However, Gutierrez Reed's attorney, defense attorney Jason Bowles, said that the prosecutors had not proven beyond a reasonable doubt that Gutierrez Reed was responsible for taking the live rounds onto the set and alleged that Baldwin was ultimately responsible for Hutchins' death. He says, I submit to you what caused her to pass was Mr. Baldwin going off script and pointing the weapon. Baldwin did not know that there was a live round in the pow pow, and nobody knew that there was ever going to be a live round on that set. Okay, but only the ultimate act is pointing of that weapon. Miss Gutierrez was not in the church. She did not point that weapon, and she didn't pull it, he told the jurors. The prosecution also called Baldwin out as a prima donna. That's a quote, a prima donna. Alec Baldwin's conduct and his lack of pow pow safety in the church that day is something that he's going to have to answer for. Not with you, not today. That's for another jury for another day. End quote. Baldwin's legal team did not immediately respond to a request for comment. His criminal trial begins in July, and y'all know I will definitely bring you the update in July. So juror Albert Sanchez said that pretty much not checking the weapons was a major factor in his decision in the Gutierrez Reed case. He said just handing them over, like here, not checking, that's a big deal. He says you can't do that. And if you have a live round and you don't even know it, that's a problem. Sanchez said that there was not much disagreement among the jurors on the tampering of the evidence charge, which involved the coca. I'm only laughing because y'all not just gonna speed past that like you didn't just say what you said. They wrote out the whole word, and I'll add the article so you guys have reference. But if you have the white coca, the white powder coca on set and live ammunition, yeah, that's absolutely a recipe for disaster. Sanchez said, we didn't think it was necessary. They didn't think it was necessary. Okay. Okay. Moving on. First Judicial District Attorney Mary Camrack, who was appointed as special prosecutor in the closely watched case, called Hutchinson's death a tragic and entirely preventable case. Absolutely. She said in a statement that prosecutors, their sole purpose were to bring justice to Helena Hutchinson's family and friends and to ensure that those responsible for her death were held accountable. Throughout the trial, a series of eyewitnesses who were on the set took the stand, including Souza, who recounted what it was like to be pow-powed and the confusion that ensued. He said nothing made sense. He said he remembered looking up at Gutierrez Reed after the incident and hearing her repeatedly say, "I'm sorry, Joel, I'm sorry." Joel described the feeling of being shot as though somebody had taken a baseball bat to my shoulder, but he said he didn't realize he had been injured by a live round of ammunition, and that when medical personnel informed him at the hospital, he said it could not compute for me, Souza said. I'm gonna assume that he was taking a part of the alleged coca as well, because there's no way you wouldn't be able to compute unless you were in shock. But he said initially that it was like a baseball bat to his shoulder. And then he said when he got to the hospital, the medical personnel had to inform him. Where is the what was her defense attorney doing? Because I was captain of my debate team, and that right there, that argument would have been shredded. Like he would have been in cross-examination so fast. Okay, I was pre-law, if y'all can't already tell, before I changed my major in college. Anywho, let's moving on. I'm going to assume that it was the coca that made it not compute for him, end quote. Dave Halls, the film's safety coordinator who pleaded no contest to negligent use of a deadly weapon last year as part of a plea deal, also took the stand. It was the first time he had spoken publicly about what happened that day. He emotionally testified that he should have checked the pow-pow more thoroughly, admitting that he did an improper check of that firearm. Halls went on to say that he did not recall seeing Gutierrez Reed spin the entire cylinder around to ensure that all of the bullets were dummy rounds. Wiping away tears, he said, "I let a safety check pass." I feel like they expect women to be more emotional. Like even whoever wrote this NBC article was talking about how she didn't show emotion. And I feel like they punish women for that. Like the fact that I think he was crying on the stand is probably why he got a pass. During opening statements, another special prosecutor, Jason Lewis, called Gutierrez Reed's behavior on the set sloppy and unprofessional. Y'all were really dogging this girl out. What in the... Okay. He said, "We believe that it was negligent acts and failures of the defendant that contributed to Miss Hutchinson's death." I wonder what they're going to say about Alec Baldwin in July. Morrissey and Lewis were appointed special prosecutors in March 2023 after the previous special prosecutor resigned. Bowles asked Wednesday in court that Gutierrez Reed be allowed to remain free pending sentencing, saying that she voluntarily appeared at every hearing and court appearance. Judge Mary Sommer declined and ordered her held. Dang, who did this girl piss? Hannah, honey, who did you piss off? Because they are coming at your neck, left, right, and center. Dang, you got the judge, the co-workers, the castmates, the actors, the people down the street. Oh my goodness. Like y'all having me root for the defendant because let this girl breathe. Dang. She said, "The reason why I'm going to remand you is because you are now convicted and this is a death." She said, "It's criminal negligence, but it's still a death." Okay. They don't play in New Mexico. The sentencing date was not set before the court went into recess, but her defense attorney said that he had time for the sentencing in April. He also says that we will appeal. Good, you should. Attorneys representing Hutchins' parents and sisters said in a statement that the family members will have always wanted everyone who was responsible for Helena's death to be held accountable. "We look forward to the justice system continuing to make sure that everyone who was responsible for Helena's death is required to face legal consequences for their actions." Okay. Like I said, I'll link the article so you guys can read it. I guess the good news for her, quote unquote good news, is she won't get more than 18 months. They're probably going to give her 8 to 12. I don't know. Maybe like 10 to 15, something like that. And it'll be under 2 years. I doubt Alec Baldwin will serve any jail time, period, just because of name recognition, but we'll see in July. You guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments section. What do you think about Hannah Gutierrez Reed? She could be sentenced to state prison, facing up to 18 months. All right. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I will talk with you later. Take care, Aces. Bye.